When it comes to dealing with the insane wokety woke folk on the left, rule number one is this: never, ever, ever give in to the woke mob. Simple. No matter what you say, how triggered they may be, how offended they come off, how badly they want you canceled, never give in to the woke mob. So long as you know that what you said is exactly what you stand on, what you believe, do not give in to the woke mob. Now, there's a difference between you saying something and you said something that you truly regret because maybe it was out of anger, frustration, maybe you were ignorant and lacked the understanding. But to give into the woke mob because they're coming after you for something that you believed in, you stood on, is not only weakness and cowardice, but they will destroy you. You are only cancelable if you give in. Simple as that. So here we have, I guess, a continuing story, continuing from the sudden passing of Hulk Hogan, legend. There's a man by the name of Joey Swoll, and I believe I've done at least one video in the past where he was featured. Now, he's a guy in the fitness world. He is a beloved sort of figure. He calls people out for bad behavior within the gym, right? When people are doing things that are, I guess, whether it is uncalled for, offensive, illegal, whatever it may be, right? For example, he was calling out this entire trend of, these chicks that would go into the gym and would try to catch guys up. So they're basically dressing, all but dental floss, and then accuse everybody of looking at them and gawking at them, etc. Right? He'll call stuff out like that. Or, when people make fun of somebody who's overweight in the gym and it's like they're trying. So anyway, he's a good natured guy, seemingly good-hearted guy. And I feel that this is what got in his way when it comes to the situation with the passing of Hulk Hogan. Now, most of y'all may not be up to date on the story, so I'm going to go ahead and just give you a couple of notes on this. We're not going to go way too deep, but essentially just brush over the surface. You'll get what's going on. So on the day of Hulk Hogan's passing, this image right here was posted by Joey Swoll. Now, as you can see, that right there is not the Hulkster, though maybe confused with him. That's Joey Swoll himself, or Swoll. I keep saying Swoll. Joey Swoll dressed up as the Hulkster himself. And turns out that this was a picture from back in the day. Now, he posts this as rest in peace, condolences, etc., right? Like most people did. The insane woke folk on the left and, many black liberals use this as an opportunity to make this about themselves and to play the victim. But, as far as him, he posted this until he started getting backlash. And all of a sudden, the wokety woke folks in his own audience were, crying out for some sort of apology that he needed to take it back because Hulk Hogan is a racist. Now, before we get into the apology video with Jimmy Swoll, I want to start off with a video of, I guess, one of the Hulkster's colleagues, a man he worked very closely with throughout the years. And, some have been spreading this fake news that, well, this man right here, Booker T, actually despised Hulk Hogan and knew he was racist, and so he avoided him. So let's go ahead and hear what Booker T had to say after the passing of Hulk Hogan. Then we will continue.
When that happened, not when that happened, but when he made his comments and whatnot, people label him a racist. And I say, you normally know a racist by the people that they hang with, their friends. You normally know a racist by, their kids, and I said at that moment when I said that about Hulk Hogan, I said, man, that was a moment right there for Hulk Hogan. If he was a racist, I said, a racist would have said, man, I'm finna get this sucker fired. I'm gonna do my best to get him out of here. A racist would have said, man, I'm gonna have him working for me now. That's what a racist would have did. But I asked Hulk Hogan, why didn't he get me fired? Why didn't he go to the office and lobby to get me out of there? And he goes, it was like he was in shock. He was like, brother, I heard that word, many times, so it wasn't anything. He said, and most of all, I wouldn't
And
go.
this ain't me justifying the hoster for using the word, but let's be honest about the word. This is a word that is used on a moment-to-moment basis. I was going to say on a daily basis. Damn it, it is found in every other word, if not every other sentence, when it comes to a lot of black folks. So God honest truth. And yes, it has been quote unquote converted into a term of endearment. But when you hear, let's say, a story of a black man taking another black man's life and he calls him the N-word, there's no endearment there, right? To me, I happen to be one of those guys who says, look, if somebody came up to me and called me the N-word or anything out of my name, I'm not taking it personally. Now, if they threaten my life or they say something that's actually cause for that, that's a different situation. Now I may be on the defense, but if they're just saying that out of ignorance, they're saying it out of, maybe they have some bigoted stances or views or perspectives. I'm not the type of guy to be offended. Maybe I'm stupid for not being offended enough, but I just so happen to live in this worldview where things like that don't necessarily matter, especially when there's this massive hypocrisy of this word is used continuously within this group of people. But let somebody else say the word, even just repeating it from, some of the music that they love and they listen to, artists that they support, that they're funding. Let them say the word and the whole world blows up. So I view this as virtue signaling that's been taking place. I view it as people using it as an excuse to act up and get violent. So, yeah, let's continue.
Try to get another one of the wrestlers fired, as well as the following day in catering. It's crazy. Macho Man Savage, Hulk Hogan, my brother and myself, we're in catering, and Macho Man Savage sees Hulk Hogan. He says, Hulk, what do you think about Booker T calling you the N-word? Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
I should point out for the record.
And Hulk Hogan goes, well, if I'm an N-word, I'm a good N-word. And that was it. And Hulk Hogan and I, from that moment in the 90s, we never spoke about that until just last week on my radio show. That's how irrelevant it really was.
So yeah, for the last 30 years, it hasn't been a point of conversation. As soon as the man passes, all of a sudden, everybody's up in arms telling him that, they hope he burns in hell. So let's go ahead and get into Jimmy Swoll's apology letter over here. Let's get into it. Or apology speech, shall I say. Now, I haven't watched this thing in its totality. I wanted to respond and react in real time, but I can almost imagine just about exactly where this is going to go.
Oh, my followers, my community, and all of social media and my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that.
Colored. Colored, 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 colored. And I would say the other word if it wasn't for the guidelines of YouTube. Words. Words have power when they're directed in a certain way. Jimmy Swolls is the type of guy to say colored and create an entire apology video the next day. Do you think that he is malicious? He is bad intended, hard-hearted. But yet when a black person calls another black person and takes their life, oh, but we reclaimed that word. We took that word back. Really? Really? I'm going to unalive you, N-word. Really? Term of endearment, huh? Term of it. So you're mad when the white dude says he doesn't want his daughter marrying one of these N-words unless they are $100 million N-word. That's what he said. That was the controversy that came out about the man. And when I actually revisited that, I thought to myself, now as a grown man, I said, you know what? I don't want my daughter marrying an N-word. If she marries a black man, a man who has his values intact and, grew up in a functional household, or at least is exemplifying, maybe he grew up in a broken household, but at least he exemplifies those qualities that a man should carry, that I would like my daughter to be around and to rub off on her. Absolutely. I want her being with a man like that. If he's black, white, red, I don't give a damn. But if he's an N-word, because I view N-word in the same way Chris Rock did. I love black people, but I hate fill in the blanks. I can't stand a fill in the blank. Can't stand an N-word. An individual who is ignorant. Ignorant. Can't do it.
Anybody that I offended, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. My whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human. I am still growing. I am still learning. And I promise all of you, I will do better. I have nothing but love and kindness in my heart. I will continue to try to make the world a better place. And once again, to everybody, I apologize.
Now, I do love those sentiments, bless his heart. But here's the thing. The aftermath of that was not exactly what he thought it would be. Just like anybody else, the woke mob decides to cancel on that day. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do to bypass their wrath. They're angry people. They're people who are filled with self-loathing. That's why they became leftists in the first place. They resonate with an ideology that allows them to be perpetual victims. They're always looking, scouring the earth for what they can latch onto to make themselves the victim. So as long as they've chosen you to be the subject of that, that's what you're going to be. That's why for me, as soon as I started getting quote unquote canceled for real, I lost 1,500 followers on my Instagram and thought that actually was something back in the day. 1,500 in 3 days. That was from November 4th to around November 6th, 7th. And I realized, this actually is, it's nothing. What is it to have people who are easily offended from the truth leaving your presence or telling you that they're done with you, that they're going to report you to the other insane person? Come on now. So Joey, again, if this is, the way that he believes that he could come to peace with himself, whatever, then, by golly, do you. But as far as my own opinion, that was a mistake. The man is dead and gone. The man apologized for his statements, which is much more than those very same people who are continually using this as a means to virtue signal. He moved on with his life. He had a full life. He had a multitude of, friends and acquaintances and people in his life, people he helped. People came out with a multitude of stories after his passing. Black folks. that he had relationship with. So yeah, I mean, if the comments he made were so bad that people are dancing on his grave, then let's hope you have no skeletons in your closet. Let's just go ahead and hope that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where?
I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, yeah. Staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, yeah. I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind. I've been getting visions of the other kind. Yeah, I've been up for weeks. I'm in the count of blessings over count of sheep. I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me. I used to be the pleaser for the people. I ain't